in these low weight classes, the only guy that can really give Shakur Stevenson a run for his money is Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is the only guy that's a threat to Shakur Stevenson. And the only guy that's a threat to Gervonta Davis is Shakur Stevenson. A lot of people neglect that because Shakur doesn't really sit down on his punches. He's not knocking these dudes out. He's just outclassing them. He hasn't had a really clean knockout in a long time. Some people are born with power, some people aren't. But as long as he goes out there and he gets the job done, that's all that matters. If I was him, if I was Core, I wouldn't even worry about getting the knockouts, especially if I know I don't have a high knockout percentage. I will focus on what I always do best. He said he got advice from Crawford. Crawford told him, keep doing what you do, bro. Don't change your fighting style for nobody. Keep fighting how you been fighting. Don't let the fans get in your head. I know people are going to say, we're not going to buy tickets to the Shakur Stevenson fight if he doesn't try to go for the knockout or this. Man, that's just people chatting. As long as you keep doing what you're doing, keep winning, keep collecting belts, these dudes are going to be forced to fight you. And you keep fighting how you fighting. People just need to respect certain boxing styles. At the end of the day, Shakur Stevenson's a slick fighter, very slick fighter, slippery, hard to hit. It is what it is. And in those little weight class, the only guy, I know Frank Martin's a solid fighter. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in June. I think he can give Gervonta Davis a competitive fight, but I don't think he beats Tank. He don't have the necessary tools to outbox Tank or stop Tank or just beat Tank. He can make it a competitive fight, but to win it, I don't see him winning the fight. Anyway, Shakur just needs to keep doing what he's been doing. At the end of the day, like I said, keeps collecting belts, keep calling out these dudes, and eventually they're going to have to fight him. And he needs to fight how he fights. Do not let the fans, I repeat, do not let the fans influence you. Because at the end of the day, once you lose, the fans are going to be the same one clowning you. All because you wanted to listen to him. Perfect example, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney bought into the hype that Ryan Garcia wasn't mentally there. Ryan Garcia was a quitter. When Devin Haney has never been a knockout artist. The dude has a 48% knockout ratio. Why in the world did he think he was going to go in there and knock out Ryan Garcia? Do he not know anything about boxing? That numbers matters in the sport of boxing? Devin Haney hasn't had a knockout in forever. It's all about the numbers. Do he not understand that numbers matters? You have a 48% knockout ratio. You're not a knockout artist. You need to embrace that. Why would you go into that fight? Why would you go into that fight thinking you could knock out Ryan Garcia when everybody knew the only person that could get a knockout was Ryan? And that's what almost happened if it wasn't for the referee. The referee saved Devin multiple times in the fight. If it was anybody else, any other referee, that fight would have been stopped. Because Devin was on wobbly legs multiple times in the fight. So I don't want to see the same thing happen to Shakur, where fans get on him and he listen to the fans and he go in there and try to trade with a guy that's a known puncher and he gets clipped. Like against Edwin De Los Santos, he could have got clipped in that fight. He fought a smart fight. I felt like he could have let some combination off, touch Edwin more than he did, but he didn't have to go toe-to-toe with him to pick him apart. He could have just let his hands go a little bit and kept moving, kept spinning Edwin. He didn't have to go right in the middle of the ring and just trade with him. He did the smart thing. All he had to do was just let some combinations go, and he would have been all right. But I'm pretty sure he's going to learn from that fight. His next fight, he shouldn't go thinking he's a knockout artist, like I was just saying about Devin. He is not a knockout artist as well. At least not at the elite level yet. He could probably knock off some guys that are not considered the best fighters in those weight classes. But as long as he embraces his style, just like Devin Haney, both guys are going to be good. He's a little bit better than Devin. I ain't going to say a little bit. He's a lot better than Devin when it comes to IQ. I think I overrated Devin Haney. At one point, I used to think Devin Haney could beat Gervonta. But then I quickly changed my mind when that video got released by Ryan Garcia, where Devin was getting bullied by Gervonta. I don't care how old he was. That was a one-sided ass whooping. And it looked really bad. So I would like to see him bounce back from his loss to Ryan. But after that Vasyl-Lomachenko fight and the Ryan Garcia fight, I'm not 100% sure he beats Tank or Shakur. I think both beat Devin very convincingly. And I think both beat Ryan too. Well, Tank already beat Ryan. He stopped Ryan in 6 rounds. You know, I think the rematch is going to be crazy. But none of those guys could beat Tank. The only guy, like I said before, there's only one guy in those little weight classes that can offset Tank, and that is Shakur Stevenson. And the other guy, and the only guy that can offset Gervonta. That's what I just said, actually. I said Tank, and then I said Gervonta. The only guy that can offset Shakur is Gervonta. You know, so that's probably the biggest fight in those little weight classes. And the crazy thing is, both happen to be in the same weight class currently. So I don't see why that fight shouldn't happen. But according to Gervonta, he says he has like 6 to 7 more fights before he even look at a Shakur Stevenson fight, which is disgusting.